Hello. Ohayo. So before oh my god, my head is so high. Hello. Before we continue playing chapter 13, there are a couple of things I want to talk about beforehand. Firstly, the Vin SSS just came out like literally an hour ago, so that was pretty crazy. I remember seeing it a while ago, but it's been so long. I didn't really remember that much about it. And hello. And it looked amazing, seriously. The second thing I want to talk about is actually, and I will be making a tweet about this later, but on my Twitter I've been like showing the keychains that I've gotten recently that I had made back in September, and I'm like finalizing, like I did a whole photo shoot with them today, and I'm finalizing it all now. But hopefully, I think either today or tomorrow, or sorry, not today, tomorrow or the day after, the Etsy listing will go live. So I will probably be making an announcement on the community page as well as my Twitter. I might as well put it on Blue Sky too. Like might as well, right? And I think I could probably show a picture. I was like debating whether to show what it looked like, but let me see. Yeah. Oh my god, it's so huge. Well, I clearly did not think this through. Can I just resize this easier? Fit to screen. Yeah. So these are what they look like. And I will be posting an announcement about them. They're the personal stories for 3.2. And they're like super glittery. So yeah. Also, for some reason, oh, hold on. For some reason, my model is acting a little weird today. I don't know if it's just because my webcam is being weird, but yeah. Thought I'd get that out of the way. Okay. Let's get this started, and hopefully I can clear this tonight and I never have to do this again. Because is my my YouTube is telling me that my stream is not doing well, but I don't know why it's telling me that. My connection is like perfectly fine. But that is kind of concerning that it's buffering. Well, hopefully it's not actually doing that. I wouldn't know how to fix it. I didn't change anything. I think everything is just not working for me today, so I'm gonna just get on with the game and just pray that this error that I'm receiving just kind of goes away. But if it does become like insufferable, just like let me know. I don't know. It looks normal to me. Very strange. I don't know what's happening. Don't know what's happening today. Let me just double check one more time. Yeah, I don't know. Looks fine to me. All right, whatever. Maybe just my YouTube is being weird. Okay. Enough of that. Okay. So, from yesterday, I think we're gonna interrogate Mr. Hank today. Before you know it, it's already late at night. You haven't heard from Luke since he hung up. Since he promised to come, you know he will be true to his word, as he's always has been. But that voice at the end of the phone call makes it impossible for you to relax. Luke. Ding dong, the ring of your doorbell interrupts your worried thoughts. Making your way to the door, you catch sight of Luke on the video intercom, which puts your anxious mind somewhat at ease. As soon as you open the door, the pleasant aroma of food wafts in. Oh my god, my dinner! He finally brought my dinner! Luke removes his shoes and comes inside, waving his phone in front of you. Apparently, it's run out of battery and turned off automatically. Yep.
抱歉抱歉，手机没电了，我急着见你就没充电，直接过来了。
Smart.
还好终端有支付功能，我才顺利买了宵夜。
I don't know what a payment terminal is. I'm assuming like rather than the QR code, it's like a physical card? Has to be.
哎，别傻站着了，快来
I
帮忙拆盒。
know. My takeout's here. He's making me hungry. You glance at the bag. There are several large takeout boxes inside. Don't you think you brought a bit too much? There's never too much.
我觉得还好啊，可能是我还没吃晚饭吧。
Oh my god, his eyes are like sparkling.
不用担心吃不完，有我呢。
Luke poses as if he could devour an extra cow. Oh, an entire cow right here and now. His dramatic expression dispels the anxious thoughts you had earlier. Alright, I'll pour you something to drink. What do you want?
橙汁。
Orange juice is a good choice. Coming right up. After you finish pouring the juice in return, you find that Luke has covered the coffee table with snacks.
感觉我们很久
Wait, he brought takeout and like a bunch of snacks? Man.
之前
Aww.
好像是趁着叔叔阿姨加班，我们偷偷用零花钱凑着买的。一眨眼这么多年过去了，幸好他还没关门。
That's true. When things are closed, it's kind of sad. Luke keeps babbling just like he always did as a small child when he made a mistake, changing the topic on purpose and trying to conceal his guilt by talking on and on. Dang. Remembering how he sounded on the phone this morning, you take a deep breath and sit up straight, fixing your gaze on. Rose is like, yeah, his guilt conscious is like one of a dog's. Like super obvious. not nonchalant. Luke, I have something to ask you.
什么事这么严肃？
You can't run from it, Luke. He stops looking at you innocently. Don't give me those eyes. You said you'd never do anything that might worry me again.
我
He looks hesitant, as if he has something on his mind but can't quite spit it out. You start feeling a bit antsy. Truth be told, since you and Luke reconnected, the issues between the two of you have never been fully resolved. The 8 years without a word, his grave illness leaving him with an uncertain future, and those dangerous missions that seem to be popping up all the time. Yet time and time again, you let him reassure you. Maybe deep down you believe that trusting him will make life easier. But this time you're not about to let him off the hook so easily or take his care for granted. You grab Luke's hands and twist them Twist them behind him, pinning him down on the sofa with all your body weight. What? Girl?
怎么突然？
Girl? Oh, shit. This is what you did to tackle me the other day. It felt like being treated as an enemy by someone I trust and care about. All that fear, panic, and anxiety, I'm sure you can also feel it now. The look of surprise on his face is replaced by sorrow.
我
Dang. She's hitting it where it hurts. That's crazy. He stammers for a while before finally blurting out, I'm sorry, but this isn't what you want. Luke, I don't need you to tell me everything. Before he can start showering you with apologies, you take the lead and voice your thoughts. I just want a clear answer. No more of these vague words of comfort. Is that too much to ask? Despite being in a dominant position, you find your eyes burning with tears.
先放开我，好不好？
That's like Luke's worst. I wouldn't call it fear, but he hates seeing her cry. Because she cries. Luke makes her cry kind of a lot. Not purposely, but... Luke turns to look at you, speaking in a bargaining tone.
我会告诉你的，先放开我。
Oh? After a moment of hesitation, you finally release him. In fact, given the significant difference in your physical strength, it'd be a breeze for Luke to break free from your constraint. Oh my god, my YouTube is like, oh, you have excellent connection now. Like I did
眼
anything.
眶好红，我帮你用热水敷一下。
I'll do it myself. Damn, you made her cry. Cry. Shaking his head, Luke pushes away your hand and gets up to prepare a warm towel for your eyes. The burning sensation gradually subsides.
你想知道什么就问吧。这一次我不会模棱两可了。
You and Luke sit facing each other as the warm scent of food fades away, taking with it the culinary temptation. We didn't even eat the food? Rosa, couldn't you have waited after? But where should you start? What happened earlier? I think she should know. What did you do after you left the coffee shop today? Don't try to fool me again by saying you were out on a mission. Luke often had missions to carry out, so at first you didn't take it seriously when he said that to you. But when you think about it, the circumstances seemed highly suspicious. What kind of mission would involve a child delivering intel? And then there was that second time. It was clear he left after noticing something, but instead he claimed he received some message.
我去见了一个人。
By yourself?
这件事只有我和杨哥知道。现在还有你。
Mm-hmm. Does that person have something to do with your sickness? Luke nods, slightly gazing at you. Are they going to hurt you?
我们在合作，至少目前目标相同。
For now.
更详细的信息我也不知道，没办法告诉你。
Mm-hmm. You shake your head. Knowing what Luke has said is enough for you, there's no point in rushing things. You let out a sigh of relief, however, as you start to relax, you're overwhelmed by an endless wave of drowsiness.
困了就去睡吧。
Wait a moment, we haven't talked about what we'll do tomorrow. We need to talk with Hank Barnes at the police station first, and then... The drowsiness grows heavier as you speak. You blink, trying to keep your mind clear. What time is it for her?
别想了，我等会儿把明天行程发给你。
Luke stands up, pushing you toward the restroom.
你呢，就赶紧去洗漱， 早点睡吧。
But we haven't cleaned things up yet.
交给我来收拾，你看你都快睁不开眼了。
That's kind of cute. Alright, you should get some rest too.
知道了。
Oh my god, what? Why do that? In the middle of the night, Aaron places Luke's blood into a tube and begins running analyses. Yawning, he glares at Luke vexed.
夏夜啊，夏夜。
Luke, you're stressing
每
him
次
out.
都3更半夜把我叫出来，我要是猝死，你得负主要责任。
下次买点补品给你补补。
They're so funny.
谁稀罕你的补品？
Alcohol swab in hand, Aaron instructs Luke to roll up his sleeve. It's all bruised around the injection point, probably because Luke didn't apply pressure properly earlier.
你也太莽撞了，怎么能让人直接往自己身上扎针啊？
So true.
万一他有什么不良企图，你现在就……
Aaron stops mid-sentence, knowing that Luke is fully aware of the danger without him having to mention it.
我这么重要的实验样本，相信俄狄浦斯不会这么轻易的毁掉。
Oh, he's like, yeah, I know the mind game.
而且事情也在朝着我们预期的方向发展。
Are they though? Sighing, Aaron turns to look at the analysis curve on the screen, fully aware that there's no point in saying anything further. Right now, all he can do is focus on his job and provide Luke with his full support. In the narrow alley, a police officer walks up to a round garbage bin, casting a perplexed glance at the red spot on the screen. Then, sticking his hand into the organic waste rotting in the bin without hesitation, he finds a working tracker. What?
严队，找到定位器了，但没找到钟思奎。
Oh.
他应该是在最后一次移动的时候丢掉了定位器。
The young police officer places the tracker in an evidence bag and hands it to Darius Morgan.
我知道了。今天大家辛苦了，收队吧。
It's so late. Everyone go to bed.
那钟思奎怎么办？他这样做明显就是为了误导我们，没准现在他已经逃离了威明市。
放心，不会就让他这么跑了。接下去我自有安排。
The young policeman opens his mouth and closes it again in frustration.
知道了，严队。
Look at all these hardworking people. The next day, Darius Morgan stands in the waiting room with dark circles under his eyes. He already has dark circles. Telling me he got more? They got deeper? Apparently, he didn't sleep the whole night. Yeah.
夏燕，律师小姐，你们怎么来了？哦，原来是天亮了。
Poor man is stressed. Captain Morgan, are you alright?
我还行。你们等一下，我先去洗把脸。
Yeah, extra scrub. Extra. 2 minutes later, Darius returns after splashing water on his face, seemingly more awake. 2 minutes? Darius? Ain't no way you showered in 2 minutes. Hell nah. He takes out 2 bags of coffee from his drawer and puts them directly into a thermos.
有件事情要告诉你们，钟思奎跑了。
Uh-oh.
他把定位器丢在了北区的一个垃圾桶里，偏偏那条路又没有监控。
Uh-oh.
不过我们已经发了通缉令，也封锁了交通要道，抓到他只是时间问题。
Yeah, I think we'll catch him. But why would he run? We're only speculating. We don't have any evidence that proves his involvement in the disappearances. I know something. He's practically admitting to being guilty by fleeing right now.
也可能他有不得不逃的理由。
Luke changed back to his regular outfit. You and Luke share with Darius your opinion on a possible connection between the Seahorse Association suicides case 10 years ago and the current disappearances case.
你们的推测倒是跟我们目前的调查方向不谋而合。
Actually, what you're saying aligns with our current investigation.
只是鱼骨作为关键人物之一，自从昨天到了警局后，跟我装神弄鬼了一整晚。
Playing tricks. Darius slams his thermos onto the desk.
对，他一口咬定自己是撞鬼了，说的都是胡话。
Brother.
无论我们怎么问，最后就是这么一个说辞。
So, what I think is Orcus Mallory, like, he said he's connected to Hank by the fact that they both like ghost stories, but I think because Hank Barnes was associated with the Seahorse Association, I think Orcus actually is like a devotee to the Seahorse Association. So maybe that's why he wants Hank Barnes to like disappear. I don't know if Orcus killed those people yet. I think that's I don't have enough information to assume that yet. But the fact that he's like going to such lengths to find Hanks and then like the whole thing with like hiring those enforcers, I don't think he's a good person. So I'm more inclined to believe he's like in cahoots with the Seahorse Association, or that he's like one of like the higher up peoples, but it doesn't look like that to me. Or maybe he's just like someone who is like brainwashed. I don't know. That's just what I'm thinking, because clearly they're not friends because of the thing with the president at the orphanage and the fact that he got like the days wrong. So they're definitely not friends at all. I don't even think they know each other.
关于撞鬼，鱼骨具体是怎么说的？
还能怎么说？无非是那个地方10年前就闹鬼，还说海马会的高层都是鬼上身自杀的。
严队，我们可以跟鱼骨聊聊吗？
可以，正好我也要去看看那群打手审的怎么样了。
Did they actually die by, unaliving, or did they, or were they killed? You and Luke see Hank Barnes in the meeting room. Compared to the cowering mess he was earlier, there's a touch of gloom about him at present. Hello, Mr. Barnes. We met yesterday. My name is Yu. I work as a lawyer, but now I'm here as a detective's assistant. The person standing beside me is Luke. He's been commissioned to find you.
你们好。
Hank Barnes looks up, his gaze falling on Luke.
我记得你。昨天有人要打我，是你救了我。谢谢。不客气。我们有一些问题想要问你，现在方便回答吗？你们救过我，想问什么就问吧。
The more I stare at him, the more it's just Marius's hair. This is crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Let's ask about the Seahorse Association first. You said someone was coming to take your life. Who was it? What did I just say? What did I just say? What did I just say? Orcus Mallory was trying to kill him.
我不知道，当时我脑子很不清醒，不记得自己说了什么。
Darius is right. Although Hank Barnes is answering all your questions, he isn't really giving you any useful information.
你是真的不记得，还是不愿意告诉我们？有时候一个人在受到惊吓或外部刺激的时候，说出来的事情才是真的。就算现在你可以搪塞过去，但你可以保证自己今后不会露馅吗？我不明白你为什么要这么说。
He seems determined to keep playing dumb. Reasons for hiding? Why did you go into hiding? You're not going to say you don't know, are you?
不是，我是在6天前收到了周叔给我发的一个灵异视频才躲起来的。
You know, for being so soft, he has like a really strong heart for liking these ghost videos. Uncle Jansen? You mean Joel Jansen? Hank Barnes nods. So that's the real reason he went into hiding. It wasn't because someone went to ask about him at the orphanage, but because of that ghost video. You and Luke were right earlier. The strange decorations at the Weeping Tower were meant to lure them out.
视频里有让你害怕的东西。
Upon hearing Luke's question, Hank Barnes nods after a moment of hesitation.
对，那里面有鬼。
I don't think so, buddy.
鬼？是啊，好多长在树上的鬼。
He says, an eerie smile appearing on his face. What? Oh, Orcus Mallory, come on. Do you know anyone by the name of Orcus Mallory? Hank Barnes looks genuinely confused upon hearing. What did I say? What did I say?
不认识。我离开海马会后，就没有交过新朋友。
That's what I thought.
最近这段时间，有没有不认识的人找过你？
Hank Barnes shakes his head firmly. So I presume you know nothing about the enforcers coming after you? Well, what can I say? My brain might be small, but there's a tiny galaxy in there. There's a pagoda tree painted on a wall at the Weeping Tower, which looks remarkably similar to the one you drew at the orphanage. What does it mean? A flicker of fear passes across Hank Barnes' face.
没什么深意。
Bro.
没什么深意，还要特意画下来。
Bro.
这……哦，我想起来了。以前在海马会院子里有一棵很大的槐花树。洛洛很喜欢这棵树，我就下意识把它画下来了。
Right. Because an open window just means an open window, my dude. He looks like a wimpy Zane is crazy. Maybe I feel like Zane's like his hair is a little bit more trimmed. But like Marius has that literal swoop that like covers the middle bang. Like he has that same exact thing, which is like crazy to me.
对，就是这样，没别的意思。
Yeah, sure, my dude. Hank Barnes averts his gaze, looking flustered. He obviously just made that up. If he really drew the tree because his sister liked it, then why did he make it look so natural? Teen emo Zane. That's incredible. But judging from the way he looks, it's unlikely that you'll get any valuable information from him. Bro is making this so hard. All right, I'm asking about your sister now. I'm going to be insensitive. You said yesterday that your sister died after taking the miracle drug from the Seahorse Association. Could you tell us exactly what happened?
那只是我在胡言乱语。我和妹妹都很感激海马会收留了我们。
Bro, make up your mind. Do you hate them or not? Hank Barnes is saying the complete opposite of what he claimed yesterday. No, literally.
12年前，我的父母因为车祸去世，家里只剩下我跟露露相依为命。当时我们还没成年，我们家里亲戚不多。 仅有的几个，也不是真心想要收养我们兄妹。但如果住在福利院，我和露露就会被不同的家庭收养，以后再也见不到面。后来，我在网上看到海马会的广告，只要成为会员，我和妹妹就不用分开了。
This guy. He literally delivered himself to a pyramid scheme because he saw it on the internet.
我们就搬了过去，和大家一起互帮互助，生活的还可以。这么说来，你对海马会好像也没什么不满。它不是一个传销组织吗？我是在警察告诉我的时候，才意识到海马会是个传销组织。 之前并不清楚。
What are you saying? Did they take all your money? Hank Barnes sounds completely emotionless, which makes what he's saying difficult to believe. He seems to be intentionally defending the Seahorse Association in order to prove his innocence. Mr. Barnes, what do you know about the suicides of the Seahorse Association leaders 10 years ago?
不清楚。那天我们吃了晚饭后都很困，直到早上睡醒才知道他们都死了。你就没察觉到异常？异常？说起来，案发前一阵子，海马会在闹鬼。怎么个闹鬼法？具体我也不清楚。据说是个穿红裙子的女鬼。 吓得大家都人心惶惶的。你见过那个女鬼吗？
Hank Bark shakes his head without hesitation.
没有，这些都是我听别人说的。
According to Hank Barnes, the Seahorse Association had been haunted before its leaders supposedly committed suicide. But during your on-site investigation, you discovered a magic circle for conjuring dead spirits under the carpet, so whether or not ghosts are real, this particular ghost at the Seahorse Association was clearly the result of human manipulation. The leaders must have hung a peachwood sword on the wall to repel any ghosts. Oh my gosh. The only useful information he gave was that he did not know Orcus Mallory. That was so useless. Thank you for wasting my time. I mean, okay, thank you for your cooperation. Hank Barnes glances at you, seemingly wanting to say something, but he can't quite muster the words, and he follows the police officers behind him out of the meeting room. As expected, he didn't give us anything valuable. It's like we were talking past each other the whole time.
也不是完全没有收获。其实一个人越是想要隐瞒什么，就证明这些事越可疑。
True, true.
我们要不要再去四方七楼看看？没准会有新的线索。
I have to go back there again?
好，我们现在
Sorry,
就出
you
发吧。
nod, agreeing with Luke's decision, begrudgingly agreeing. I don't want to go back to that scary place. Oh yeah, it has the partner thing again. After leaving the police station, you and Luke drive directly to the Weeping Tower. The officer on duty, having received a notification from Darius in advance, is waiting for you two at the scene. The gloomy weather today has somehow made the place even eerier. Great. Since the current case is connected with the Seahorse Association's leaders, maybe I shouldn't say that word, unalive case from 10 years ago, it might be a good idea to focus on items linked to the past. Luke, we should pay special attention to the spots that are easy to overlook. We can't miss a single clue. We have to take a good look at every nook and cranny.
收到，那现在开始吧。
Maybe the boxes? Some empty pill boxes are stored in this carton. It's no longer possible to read what's written on them. Were they used to store the miracle drug back then? Ooh. The photo! A dusty photo frame is placed on the shelf. After wiping it clean, you can see 3 children in the photo. On the left and right are 2 teenagers aged 14 and 15. Judging from how they look, they must be... I beg your pardon? Orcus Mallory and Hank Barnes in their youth. What? But he said he didn't know who... The 2 boys are smiling, their hands resting on each other's shoulder. They look close in the photo. But why is Orcus Mallory determined to find Hank Barnes? And why did Hank Barnes say he didn't know anyone named Orcus Mallory? He lied that entire interview.
应该是后来发生了什么，导致他们的关系恶化。
Probably because he doesn't like the Seahorse Association, and my theory that Orcus Mallory is like a devotee. He loves this organization. You nod, returning your gaze to the old photo. Apart from Orcus Mallory and Hank Barnes in their youth, there's also a little girl aged 6 or 7 in the middle. That's his sister. She's holding a bear plushie, the same as the one on the desk. Upon closer inspection, you find that the bear plushie has a syringe with bear stickers in its hands. This little girl here must be Luna Barnes, Hank Barnes' sister. But even from the photo, you can tell that Luna Barnes isn't in good health. However, even though she's leaning feebly against Hank Barnes, there's a bright smile on her face. Dang. Okay, anything else? Probably not. Oh, lucky me. Don't tell me there's something behind here. What the? You and Luke find a combination lock behind a brick in the inner wall of a... What? Because it's hidden behind artificial cobwebs, you two failed to notice it before. Luke, can you open this lock?
10几年前的老式密码锁，难度不大。
Luke works the lock for a few seconds, and the fireplace in front of you shifts slightly with the clicking sound of gears working. You and Luke exchange a glance. He extends his hand to carefully pull open the hidden door, revealing a staircase leading down. What in the horror? The staircase extends deep underground. The further you go, the colder it gets, and there's the faint smell of pagoda flower scented bomb in the air. This is terrifying. Oh! Can I show this on YouTube? I mean, it should be fine if Tears of Themis has it, okay? Oh my god, this is too Halloween. This is like too... Who planned this? Who put this on the schedule? What the hell? This is terrifying. I'm actually like... I have like chills. What the... You and Luke reach the bottom. It takes you a few seconds to adapt completely to the dim lighting. You can only just make out that the two of you are in a square room of moderate size. It looks like a shed, more like a shed than a basement. And the pagoda flower fragrance from earlier becomes increasingly overwhelming, mixing with a strange stench. Yes, I could only imagine. You take a careful step forward, only to bump into something lying on the ground. These...
应该就是海马会消失的巨额捐赠款。
I'm at a loss for words. Like, how are we not traumatized? Like, we're Rosa, right? How are we not like traumatized after seeing this? Also, that is a crap ton of money. That's crazy. This appears to be the Seahorse Association's vault. The money they've tricked out of their members is all stored here. Why do you have the bodies still there?
不过，我们不是第一批来到这里的人。
What do you mean? Luke crouches down to examine the disorderly set of footprints on the ground. There's also some cash. Orcus Mallory could only paint in cash. You notice an obvious gap in the piles of cash. Some of the money must have been taken away. The person who's been dealing in cash on the black market must be using the money from here. Dang, it's not looking good for our boy Mallory, Mr. Mallory. You finally piece together all the clues you have. The money bags on the black market is the kidnapper.
但这个地方恐怕不仅仅是金库那么简单。
What do you mean? What do you mean? We said the same thing. That's actually kind of funny. Following Luke's gaze, you look up slightly. Yeah. Oh, so she didn't. She didn't notice that. Following Luke's gaze, you look up slightly, catching sight of 3 figures wrapped in white cloth hanging from the ceiling. The pagoda flower scent you smelled earlier also appears to come from there. You suddenly remember the pagoda flower painting you saw above the fire. Yeah, there were 3 of them. I actually noticed that, but I didn't say anything because like the paint was so wet, right? So it makes sense that they're drawing the pagoda flower for each body. The pagoda flower painting you saw above the fireplace, which looks eerily similar to the scene in front of you. Yep. You should take a shot every time I say pagoda while reading this chapter. No, seriously. I think it would be really bad. There were 3 flowers on the painting, and hanging here are 3 white objects smelling of pagoda flowers. In a split second, it occurs to you that there are exactly 3 missing victims. Yes, Rosa. Yes, us. Yes, reader, in case you haven't been following. An almost instinctive fear prevents you from stepping forward while Luke and the police officer walk up to take a closer look. Following their movements, the foul smell concealed by the pagoda flower fragrance instantly permeates the room. You can't help but cover your nose and mouth. Yeah, Rosa.
3名失踪者找到了。
As soon as Luke finishes his sentences, the two of you are requested to leave the basement by the police officer to avoid damaging the crime scene. Yeah, forensics team or whatever. There's still more. Oh my god. So we did the sword. Maybe the tree? Maybe the carpet? The window? Gazing out from this broken window, you can see the Bakota tree in the yard. The picture? The chair? The vent? Okay, it has to be the bear. The bear? Oh. Oh, a notebook. How did we not see this the first time? There's a tattered notebook on the communal desk by the window. The journal entries start from 13 years ago. The photo about the size of an inch. A photo about the size of an inch is stuck on the first page. Although it's a bit yellowed, you can still recognize the man as Orcus Mallory. The journal entries are sometimes shorter and sometimes longer, and they don't follow an exact chronological order. It appears that Mallory was quite casual when he wrote in his journal, jotting down whatever came to mind. The early entries are a detailed account of his everyday life. One can see how much he enjoyed his life at the Seahorse Association. Orcus Mallory spoke highly of the Seahorse Association. He used the word home multiple times in the journal. What did I say? Well, maybe he's not a higher up? Well, clearly he's not a higher up if he was a kid and he had that photo with Hank.
我们继续往下看吧。
A year later, mention of the Barnes siblings start to appear in journal entries. The siblings ended up in the Seahorse Association because none of their relatives were willing to take them in after their parents passed away, and they didn't want to go to the orphanage, which would have separated them. When Luna Barnes first arrived at the Seahorse Association, she appeared to be very caring and considerate despite her young age, smiling at every person she met. Soon she became very popular. But after a year and a half, her health began to deteriorate.
看日记上记载，于露应该从没去过医院，而是直接服用海马辉的万能药。
Oh my god.
因为里面含有一定的致幻成分，早期于露的身体状况表面上确实有好转的迹象。
Yeah, and that's why Orcus Mallory sounded much more optimistic in his journal. But then 2 weeks later, there was a break in Mallory's journal, and the next entry was about Luna Barnes' funeral.
没多久，万能药就不管用了。本来可以多活一段时间的于露，也因错过正确的治疗而离世。
Yep, going to the hospital is important. The journal entries afterward mention how an increasingly number of association members borrowed from Loan Shark to make donations, but Orcus Mallory didn't write anything about what happened next, as if he purposely avoided mentioning it. Then came the hauntings, which caused panic among the Seahorse Association leaders, who even went out of their way to request a peach wood sword from a so-called master. And the journal entries paused again. They didn't start again until 3 months ago, 10 years after the last entry. Compared to the relatively normal entries 10 years ago, the recent writings are more like a rambling of a madman. The names of 4 people were written sloppily in the journal: Winston Nye, Sean Chan, Joel Jansen, his uncle? And Hank Barnes, each with a huge X over their name. The second page is strewn with words such as vengeance, pain, retribution, and traitor. Orcus Mallory was obviously very worked up when he wrote them down. Oh my god. It doesn't take long for the police to arrive. After a quick inspection of the scene, they remove the bodies hanging from the ceiling. Based on their personal belongings, the 3 people are identified as the Seahorse Association victims that have gone missing in the past month. You find yourself wondering whether Hank Barnes would have also been hanged in the basement if he hadn't gone into hiding.
现在这里已经被我们封锁了，你们暂时不能进去调查。
明白。现场有什么线索吗？
Darius sighs after thinking for a moment.
我们在地下室发现了3份手写的认罪书，他们承认和鱼骨合谋杀死了海马会高层。
Okay. Assuming that they weren't coerced, that's crazy. No wonder Mallory wants to kill Hank.
案发当天，他们和鱼骨在众人的晚饭中加入了一些神秘的药剂。之后，大家就昏昏沉沉的睡着了。到了后半夜，他们听到花园里出现了诡异的声响。因为那段时间海马会一直在闹鬼，他们不敢直接出去，于是就趴在窗户上往外看。正好看到了海马会的高层一个接着一个跟在拿着手电筒的鱼骨后面，好像完全被控制了一样。
Dang. Hypnotized.
对，这还不是最诡异的部分。
There's more? Darius ruffles his hair, agitated.
据认罪书记载，海马会的高层最后跟中邪了一样，一个个挂在槐花树上自杀。
Oh my god, this is crazy. I feel like the circumstances of their death are similar to what Nothing But Guts said, only that his version sounded a bit more dramatic, superstitious. Darius nods thoughtfully.
虽然不是一模一样，但确实有很多相似之处。
严队，关于那个神秘的药剂，认罪书上有说明吗？
没有，上面只写着药剂是鱼骨提供的，但具体哪里来的，他们也并不清楚。
Luke appears even more solemn. He's lost in thought, arms crossed in front of his chest. Did he think of something? Darius' phone begins to ring, breaking the silence.
我接个工作电话。你们也别待在这里，跟我一起出去吧。
The 3 of you walk to the pagoda tree. According to the confession letters from the 3 victims, this is the tree where the Seahorse Associations hung themselves 10 years ago. From the suicide case a decade ago to the kidnapping and murder now, the pagoda tree has witnessed everything, but it can't provide any answers. Did you just think of something, Luke? Luke nods at you.
我在想，现在的线索基本上可以确定钟思奎的作案动机了。
Orcus Mallory's motive for kidnap and murder is that he loves the Seahorse Association members and no. That's probably right. No. I think it's just these 2. Hell yeah, man. I'm just getting lucky. They didn't make they must have nerfed this because it used to be so hard. Orcus Mallory had deep feelings for the Seahorse Association. He always regarded it as his home. So he decided to avenge its leader's death after discovering that the incident had something to do with Hank Barnes and others.
没错，但关键是他从哪里得知的真相？而且，就算他有了海马会的巨额捐赠款， 但很多事情并不是靠他一个人和钱就能解决的。
That's true. Luke suspects that Orcus Mallory had help, and you feel the same. But with the current leads, we don't have a single clue.
不要着急，慢慢来，一定可以查出来的。
Luke's right. It's actually not that difficult to figure out how Orcus Mallory learned about the truth. You should be able to deduce that once you know where he went before the kidnapping and who he spoke with. Now that you figured out how to continue the investigation, you don't feel frustrated anymore, but Luke furrows his brows as if he just thought of some difficult problem. Is there something wrong?
没什么，只是刚才突然想到10年前的案发经过，总觉得漏了什么关键点，我想回去梳理一下。
Oh, we're missing something? Really?
还有浑身是胆说的四方七楼恐怖传说，也有关于10年前凶案的描述。
You think that story has something to do with our case?
甚至可能是同一件事。
Huh? But is it likely that a real case turns out to be one? But is it likely that a real case turns out to be one and the same as an urban legend spread on the internet?
那你们盯着点，有情况随时汇报。挂了。
Darius hangs up as he walks towards you two.
还好你们还没走，有件事要跟你们说一下。
Oh?
之前不是全城通缉钟思奎吗？人已经找到了，但他有先天性疾病，已经到了晚期。
He has a congenital condition that's processed to terminal?
找到他的时候昏迷在路边，还是我们叫了救护车送到医院。
Oh my god.
医生说他现在很虚弱，就算能醒过来，也撑不了多久。
Oh my god. Then the kidnapping and murder...
是他干的。我们在钟思奎用假名租的房子里，发现了大量他绑架3名死者的证据。
Oh my gosh.
而且就在你们发现凶案现场前，我们也掌握了他的身世背景。他原名叫钟馗，在海马会解散后才改名叫钟思奎。
Maybe that's why Hank Barnes didn't know. No wonder Hank Barnes said he didn't know Orcus Mallory when we asked him about that. Still same last name, but I guess Chinese last names are so much more common compared to English ones. Mallory is a very distinct last name.
辗转各地乞讨，过了一段食不果腹的日子。后来被海马会的一个高层收留，让他留在里面干点打杂的事情。
So that's why he treated the association like his home.
没错，哪怕是在案发后，他也不相信海马会是个传销组织，坚信高层是被谋杀的。
I see. That makes a lot more sense. He's not a terrible person, as terrible as I imagined.
直到半年前，他因为重疾发作，被角马会接收。
The White Horse Association?
你们知道这个组织？
You nod. You've personally come into contact with the White Horse Association for Gerard Boone. Artem seems to be dealing with them as well, albeit in private. What happened after Orcus Mallory joined White House Association?
他在角马会待的时间不长，大概3个月前，他就自己离开了角马会。理由是，反正要死，最后还是想要落叶归根。
Oh, that's actually kind of sad.
从他的身世来看，这个理由有点牵强。
Luke is right. There's something about the timing. 3 months. The pagoda tree on the wall of the Weeping Tower was drawn at that time, and he also started updating his journal again 3 months ago. All the clues indicate that something must have happened then that provided Orcus Mallory with some key evidence and prompted him to start working on his revenge.
严队，关于角马会有什么线索？
没有，这个组织很干净。最近3个月的监控我们也都调查过，没有发现异常。
And what was Orcus Mallory's situation like there?
口碑很好，他在进入角马会之前是一家康复中心的员工，很擅长和病人沟通。接触过他的人都说他性格温和，十分乐于助人。而且，说来奇怪，那些海马会的受害者对他的评价也很高。
Darius' words confuse you again. How is it possible for someone to be cold enough to take lives and yet at the same time gentle to patients? It's like Jerome. Was he faking it all? But he had no reason to put on a pretense like that. Or is it really just the complexity of humanity that defies a simple definition? After concluding the consultation with his last patient, Vin comes to the garden for some fresh air. Leaning against the bench, he leisurely feeds the pigeons on the ground, squinting slightly in the scorching sunlight. Oh my god, we gotta see Vin.
角马会确实如您所料，没有表面上那么干净。
奥吉尔，以后跟我说话不要神出鬼没。
It's spooky season. Everyone's getting spooked.
不是少爷让我秘密调查吗？
Instead of answering, Vin throws out all the breadcrumbs at once. The pigeons who were strolling in a distance all come swarming in front of him.
你发现了什么？
That shows Vin was very upset. Ojiri hands Vin the file bag he's holding, but he doesn't let go after Vin lays hand on it.
怎么了？
Vin frowns, somewhat displeased.
这件事背后的水很深，站在我的立场，不建议您继续参与。
奥吉尔，有一点我有必要再重申一下。关于我的事，不需要你来干涉，明白吗？
Oh my god.
明白。
Vin somewhat forcefully snatches the folder and pulls out the printed copies inside, quickly scanning through them.
有意思。
Uh-oh. He returns the files he's read to Ojir.
走吧，今天的任务已经完成了。
As Vin is about to leave the White Horse Association headquarters, a familiar figure comes swaggering. I swear to God, if this is his uncle, I'm gonna lose my crap.
莫子恒，
Was his uncle's name Matthew? Yes, yeah, it was Matthew. Oh, in the distance, several staff members behind Matthew Richter are carrying lots of gift boxes of different sizes. Shortly afterward, the man is surrounded by kids.
莫叔叔，您这次给我们带了什么礼物？
Oh, she's so cute.
你上次向莫叔叔
Oh, this freaking scum.
连衣裙，我许愿了红美公主同款的连衣裙。
那莫叔叔就给你带了连衣裙。
Matthew Richter taps the girl's nose and then casts a glance at the staff behind him, who present the girl with an elaborate gift box.
好漂亮的裙子，谢谢莫叔叔。
All the kids surrounding him have been granted gifts. Watching with cold eyes, Vin turns to take another way out. Unfortunately, Matthew Richter has already spotted Vin at this point, so he comes over directly after saying goodbye to the children.
哟，这不是我的好外甥吗？
Get out of my face.
莫子恒，不要随便乱攀亲戚。
You literally shot him. Like Don't greet me with "Hey, how have you been, bro?"
好，好，好。请问莫教授这么忙
Yeah, I
怎么
was
有空来
shot
这
and
里
shoved into a freaking closet. You think I'm gonna forgive you after that?
我
I
想我
was
没义务
also-
向你汇报我的工作内
You
容。
also kidnapped Rosa, you freaking bastard.
工作内容，来给这里的病友做心理咨询？哎，真是浪费。
Mind your own business, bro. Matthew Richter shakes his head as he's trying to appear truly feeling sorry for Vin. Yeah, whatever.
浪费？什么意思？
Yeah, I also don't follow. I got 2 PhDs. What are you gonna do?
字面意思，我每个月都会来角马会开解病人，了解他们的难处，
Okay.
为他们提供实质性的帮助，不像你们只是动动嘴皮子就以为万事大吉了。
Bro, what are you saying?
每个月都来？
Matthew Richter snorts upon hearing the doubt in Vin's voice.
我的好外甥，不管你怎么看我，但我对这些人的同情都是发自内心的。
Yeah, no, you're coming here for something else. Don't try to cover it up.
像你这种从小身体健康、集万千宠爱于一身的人，肯定不知道一个从小被
Listen,
病痛
money can't
缠
buy
身的人的
everything,
痛
okay? Can't fix you when you're traumatized. Vin doesn't reply. Instead, he puts his name card inside Matthew Richter's pocket.
如果想要诉苦的话，建议先预约。
Literally,
看在亲戚的
he's
份上，
so
我会给你
funny.
打8折。
I'll give you a 20% discount. Vin is so funny.
莫毅，你
You should be unfazed by that, Uncle Richter. Disregarding the angry Matthew Richter, Vin leaves the White House Association without looking back. Yes, goodbye, scum. After returning home, Vin flips through the printed copies once again before dialing Artem's number.
你猜的没错，角马会确实有问题。他们插手的不仅仅是何雪云的案子，甚至连葛蕾蕾案背后也有他们的影子。
I beg your pardon? How are they behind everything?
掌握确切证据了吗？
Artem has been delving into the White Horse Association for a while now, but he hasn't unearthed any solid evidence that could implicate them in a crime.
没有。不过，我发现了一件更有趣的事情。
What do you mean?
什么？
左然，你是不是调查到了跟聂秋相关的事情？
Uh-huh. Then allows Artem no chance to think. Instead, he offers his assessment straight away.
不用费心找借口。在 N2X， 我跟他共事的时间比你久。他的一些小动作，瞒不过我的眼睛。
The things he does cannot escape my eyes. A weighty silence follows, telling Vin everything he needs to know. Sometimes silence itself holds the answer.
我知道了，之后的事情，等你回来再说。
好，
After hanging up, Vin takes out a sealed box containing information on the original N2X members. It contains personal information about Gian von Hagen, Neil Hume, and himself. Gian! Oh, I miss Gian. I hope he shows up soon in the main story for the CN service. Then he adds the printed copy to Neil Hume's file folder.
如果真的有那一天，希望我们都能做出正确的选择。
Wow. continuing on. You and Luke return to the detective agency and start reviewing the two cases separated by a decade on the whiteboard. Putting the supernatural elements aside, you two arrive at the conclusion that the urban legend Nothing But Guts told about what happened at the Weeping Tower 10 years ago was in fact adapted from the Unalive case. According to the urban legend, those residing in the Weeping Tower were bewitched by resentful ghosts and forced to hang themselves from the pagoda tree. Meanwhile, in the case from a decade ago, the Seahorse Association leaders did the same after consuming a mysterious drug. What matters now is determining exactly what kind of drug they consumed 10 years ago.
我觉得他们服用的药剂应该没有问题，否则的话，当晚所有服过药的人都会上吊自杀。
So you're saying that the association leaders were poisoned with yet another drug after consuming the previous one?
而且你有没有觉得这个场景很眼熟？一个人服药之后，做出不合常理的事情。
I don't know what kind of drug you're talking about. Both Jonah, Zane, and Remus King did something unthinkable after taking a hallucinogen. Jonah? I'm looking up who Jonah Zane was. Says he was the man who assaulted Marius at a party. I don't remember this. And who Remus? Remus Kane sounds familiar. So it was Roman Kane, the guy who was like part of who was like forced to become like a drug dealer because of his family. And Remus Kane was like the person who adopted him. Yeah. Okay. I still don't remember who this Jonah Zane person is, but they said he took a hallucinogen and fell off a rooftop, so.
他们很可能还服用了跟现在黑市上含有 N2X 药物相似的药剂，出现幻觉。
Oh yes, and Jonah, they believe that he was exposed to N2X, which is why they think he like got crazy and did that thing off the roof. If we want to test that theory, the most straightforward approach would be to review the autopsy report from that time. Luke nods and directly dials Darius's number.
夏夜，
严队，10年前海马会高层的尸体内有没有检测出什么药物？
药物。从现存的尸检报告看，根本没有做相关的检测。不过，我联系到了当年的法医，根据他的记忆，曾在死者的手臂上发现了注射器的针孔。
Oh. Injection points, so they really had to be injected with another drug prior to their deaths. Wait, they never did a drug test even though they had injections on their arm? Really? There was another syringe covered in bear stickers in the photo of Orcus Mallory and the Barnes siblings, yeah. Later at the Weeping Tower, you only found the bear plushie. The syringe was nowhere to be seen. You and Luke exchange a glance, and you both reach a similar conclusion.
我知道了，谢谢眼队。
Oh God, I'm not following. Does someone have the syringe? If the drug injection was related to Hank Barnes, could he have committed the crime with his sisters? Oh, that's what they're referring to. Okay.
可能性很高。
He killed the leaders with the syringe. I see. But it's been 10 years already. Who knows where the syringe is now? What? He knows where it is? Don't tell me you're gonna dig under a pagoda tree. Luke explains to you how one of Eggy's guys snatched Hank Barnes' backpack when he was... Oh, they did mention that. Oh my God, incredible writing. That's crazy.
身上没有背包。
He must have hidden it. Luke nods upon hearing your speculation.
之前皮蛋跟我说过，他们把包还给鱼骨后，还告诉他包放在车站的寄存柜里更安全。
I remember that if you don't pick up your belongings from the locker within 24 hours, they would be transferred to the warehouse and stored there for a month.
我们去问问看。
Dang. You and Luke arrive at the station. After explaining the situation, the staff manages to find the backpack previously stored in a locker. As expected, there's an old syringe inside. Upon closer inspection, you can see the residue from some drug on the inner walls of the syringe. To identify the substance, Luke takes you straight to Aaron, urging him to test the residue. After about 45 minutes, Aaron hands the test report to Luke.
怎么样？
Aaron's expressions appear to be solemn upon hearing Luke's question.
里面含有 N2X 成分，没想到10年前就有人在使用这种药物。
Oh my God.
看来其背后的势力藏得很深。
杨哥，这件事可不可以先帮我保密一下？
为什么 ？N2X 药物的非法流通可以追溯到10年前，这可是全新的情报。小燕，不要忘记我们曾经的宣誓。
就是因为没有忘记曾经的宣誓，我才要延迟汇报。
Report it later. Aaron gives Luke a confused look. It seems like he'd never agreed to Luke's request unless he provides a reasonable explanation. Luke lets out a sigh, having no choice but to tell Aaron that the NSB took over the Seahorse Association suicide cases 10 months ago. In fact, you two learned from Darius Morgan.
你怀疑10年前是国安压下了海马会高层自杀案的真相？
Ooh, not good for the NSB.
还不确定，但为了弄清楚一切，我需要2天时间的缓冲。
Aaron hesitates for a moment before nodding, frustrated.
好，2天后，我会把报告递交上去。
Yeah, just take your time writing that report, you know? In 2 days, we'll
没什么其
go
他
in a
事的
blink of
话
an eye.
我就先去开会了。
Luke clenches the test report tightly as he watches Aaron leave. By the time he notices it, the report has crumpled in his hands. He leans against the wall as if all of his strength has been drained, his gaze fixed on an invisible point in the air. Luke. You find yourself grabbing Luke's wrist. He turns to you numbly, a sad smile appearing on his face.
我没事，我只是有点无力。你知道首都医院那件事导致多少人离开吗？
He's never forgotten about the group infection in the capital's hospital. Back then, many people were infected like him, but he was the only one who survived. Possibly because of some sort of survivor's guilt, Luke has always felt terribly sorry for the people who lost their lives.
我在想，如果10年前就展开对 N2X 药物的调查，那件事是不是就不会发生？大家会不会都还好好活着？可是人生哪里会有如果？
It's not your fault. Luke laughs at himself and raises a hand to cover his eyes.
对不起，让你听我发牢骚。
No. You gently lower Luke's hands, looking into his red eyes. It's alright, Luke. I wouldn't call that whining. Thank you for sharing it with me instead of keeping it bottled up inside you. He draws a deep breath, concealing the emotions that burst out unexpectedly, pretending that everything is back to normal.
我没事了，还是专注眼前的案子吧。也许通过它，我们可以掌握更多关于 N2X 药物研究的线索。
Sure. With everything you know now, you can already figure out what truly happened 10 years ago. Judging from Hank Barnes' age and background, it was impossible for him to gain direct access to N2X infused drug. Someone must have manipulated him into injecting the Seahorse Association leaders with that drug, which caused them to hallucinate and hang themselves. But then the question is, who gave him Hank Barnes that drug?
我们已经拿到了关键的证据，直接去问问鱼骨，到底是谁给了他药？
True. Yeah, we're gonna pressure him. Oh, what'd she say? Compared to your last meeting, Hank, yeah, we have solid proof this time. He could hardly come up with any more excuses. Compared to your last meeting, Hank Barnes appears much more haggard. He's already learned about the deaths of the other 3 people from Darius. But Darius claims he's still unwilling to talk. He remains silent as if that's the only thing keeping him alive. Luke takes out the syringe from the evidence bag and presses it against the glass for Hank Barnes to have a good look.
鱼骨，10年前，你用的就是这个注射器，给海马会高层注射不明药。
你们怎么？
We found it in the backpack you stored in a locker at the station. We've already tested its contents. It's very similar to a drug circulating on the black market.
这个药不是我的，我也不知道怎么会发生那样的事情。我只是
You only wanted to avenge your sister. You help him complete his sentence, identifying his motive. He paused before finally spitting out the secret he's kept for 10 years.
他们跟我说，只要我把家里的钱都捐给海马会，就给露露吃包治百病的万能药。
Yeah, that's terrible.
一开始，露露看上去确实好一点了，但没多久，她的病情又恶化了。 医生说，如果早一点送到医院，他就还有救。是他们害死了露露。
His hysterical cry can hardly bring back the deceased. You and Luke give Hank Barnes some time to calm down. After half an hour, Hank Barnes appears more composed, but he seems like a zombie who has given up all hope.
现在可以告诉我们是谁给你的药吗？
我不知道。他把自己裹得很严实，根本看不清样子。
What?
他跟我说，只要把药剂注射到那些高层的体内，他们就会为自己的行为付出代价。但是我没想到
Bro.
真的都会死。
Hank Barnes claims he didn't foresee the outcome, but is that really so? Injecting an unknown drug into a human body is in and of itself something extremely dangerous. Yup. Consumed by the grief of losing his only family, it's possible that deep down he did want the Seahorse Association leaders to pay with their lives.
那后来呢？
高层们集体上吊后，我很害怕，就去找那个人。
Okay.
他让我不要声张，因为要是我下的，我也有很大的作案动机。就算查起来，也是先查到我身上。但只要我什么都不说，就可以确保我无罪。后来，果然跟那个人说的一样，大家都认为高层们是自杀的，没人怀疑我。
But why did you keep the syringe?
我只是想要留下那个人给我要的证据，还有这个注射器是露露生前最喜欢的玩具。她自从知道自己生病了，就想当个医生，拯救那些和自己一样的病人。
Oh, that's so sad.
但你最后却用他最喜欢的东西去犯罪。
Ooh, you tell him, Luke. Hank Barnes narrows his eyes as if he's only realized it just now. Shock and regret are written all over his face.
是啊，我怎么没想到呢？我实在是太蠢了。明明又笨又弱，却还想着当他心中的英雄。害死露露的不是他们，是我，是我自己。
He pounds his chest in agony. The banging sound, a cry of guilt and desperation from his soul.
如果当时我没有坚持要跟妹妹在一起，她就不会死。她会被一户很好的人家收养，快快乐乐的长大。
The future Hank Barnes imagines would never come to pass. Certain things can't be changed once the decision is made. You and Luke already have the information you need, and rest is up to the police. As you two are about to sign and leave, Darius comes shredding in.
你们先别走，刚刚得到最新的消息，钟思奎醒了，不过现在还很虚弱，只能在医生的陪同下简单的回答一些问题。他一口咬定自己是一人作案，而且怕自己活不长，还特意录了认罪视频。
My God！
我们已经去取了，之后会作为证物。不过以他的身体状况，恐怕很难等到审判的时候。你们要是有什么想问的话，明天可以去医院看看。我这里还有事情要处理，就不送你们了。
Darius leaves again in a hurry after finishing his sentence, leaving you and Luke to mull over the information. Although the case is solved now, there are still many details that are yet unclear, and Orcus Mallory owes you a lot of answers. Oh my god, there's 3 left. Let's continue. Marius! Marius! It's 2 o'clock in the morning? Pookie! Yeah, Marius is still gazing at the files on his desk, gently rubbing his temples.
二少爷，这个我们不同步给律师小姐吗？
当然要，只是我在想一个问题。
什么问题？
从交易现场的监控来看，在黑市用现金支付的金主就是钟思奎。可你不觉得奇怪吗？在此之前他还没人搭理，现在不仅在黑市雇佣打手，还买到了炸药。
确实奇怪，好像有人在背后帮他一样。
Vincent is so passionate.
那这个幕后之人的动机、目的乃至身份，就有意思了。文晨，让我们的人继续盯着，然后你去通知夏燕，把我们掌握的信息都给他。以他的敏锐度，应该知道接下去怎么处理。
明白。
Vincent turns, but then, as if struck by thought, he pivots to look at Marius again.
还有事？
啊，二少爷，只通知夏先生吗？律师小姐那边呢？
Marius smiles wryly, gently tapping on his wristwatch.
现在都几点了？不要打扰姐姐睡美容觉。
啊，是我疏忽了。
He's like, yeah, wake Luke the fuck up. But Rosa, no. She needs to sleep. She needs her little eepy time. At this moment, the once heavily guarded sick room is so quiet that one can only hear the sound of medical appliances at work. Orcus Mallory's hands are cuffed to the bed railings while condensation gathers and dissolves repeatedly in the oxygen mask. Bang! Following a dull sound outside the room, the doorknob turns. Orcus Mallory tilts his head with difficulty, a gleam of hope flashing across his eye as he recognizes his visitor.
老师，你……嘘，先别说话。
It was his freaking uncle backing him up. I can't. You're giving me like 20 million reasons to hate this man. The man walks up to Mallory's sickbed and bows down to whisper into his ear.
小葵，你还想复仇吗？
Clang! Mallory raises his cuffed hand to grab the man's wrist.
我想复仇，老师，帮帮我。
Matthew Richter, who was just referred as Sir, gently squeezes Mallory's
现
hand.
在有一种药，可以让你暂时恢复状态，但代价是加速死亡。
Yeah, nice try, buddy. A wry smile creeps up Orcus Mallory's pallid cheeks as he feebly raises his other hand to remove the oxygen mouth. Despite the paralyzing pain, he clenches his teeth and forces out an answer, eyes fixed on Matthew Richter. Bro, you are crazy. Upon receiving an affirmative answer, Matthew Richter produces the drug and helps Mallory take it.
好好睡一觉啊，等你醒来，一切都帮
He's totally killing him.
不会牵连到别人吧？
虽然这样会麻烦一点，但这是你的请求，我一定会满足。
Orcus Mallory smiles contently.
谢谢老师，我觉得有点困了。
He's so dead.
那就睡吧。
Watching Orcus Mallory drift into a slumber, Matthew Richter gently tucks the young man's wrist under the blanket, a soft smile appearing at the corner of his lips.
可别让我失望啊，小葵。
Quinn? Oh, right, his real name is Quinn. The next morning, you and Luke visit Orcus Mallory in the hospital. Given his recent actions, the hospital has arranged for a special ward for separate treatment. However, upon your arrival, you and Luke discover that the corridor is completely empty. There's no sign of any doctors or nurses or even police officers on duty.
这里的情况很不对劲。
I beg your pardon? We better check out the room first. You both hurry to Orcus Mallory's room just as suspected. There's no one standing guard. And the door is slightly ajar. Luke casts a glance back at the surveillance camera in the corridor, noticing that the indicator light is out. He carefully pushes open the door. You can faintly make out the outline of a person lying on the bed, but the life support system is completely unplugged.
你在门口等我，我先进去。
Be careful. Holding an expandable baton, Luke approaches the bed cautiously and removes the blanket only to find 2 pillows underneath. Strangely, there is nothing unusual in the surrounding area. Even the windows are tightly shut. Just when you and Luke start to wonder whether Orcus Mallory has been transferred to another room, the sound of something vibrating comes from under the bed.
是手机。
A caller ID flashes. Captain Morgan. Luke taps the answer button.
小新，你怎么回事？这么久才接电话？
Oh my god, this is a disaster. This is a disaster. It's indeed Marius. A sense of unease swells in your heart.
燕队，是我。
夏夜，怎么是你？小金呢？
Oh my god. You and Luke exchange a puzzled glance as you relay to Darius what you found after arriving at the hospital. This is indeed Orcus Mallory's room, and based on his earlier diagnosis, the man is already terminally ill. However, the room is impeccably clean without any signs of struggle. It's almost as if the patient simply opened the door and walked out of his own accord.
我明白了，这件事交给我们处理。
Where's
我打电话是为了确定
Kim?
一下钟思奎是不是还在医院。
In fact, I'm calling to confirm whether Orcus Mallory is still at the hospital.
现在看来，被监控拍到的人确实是钟思奎。
Absurd. Captain Morgan, did something happen?
你们没有看今天早上的新闻？
Oh my god. Prompted by Darius, Luke takes out his phone only to find the screen filled with notifications about multiple One of them happened right along the route where the vehicle transferring Hank Barnes was traveling through. According to both surveillance footage and witness accounts, a man bearing an uncanny resemblance to Orcus Mallory was seen abducting Hank Barnes.
钟思奎劫走了鱼骨。
正在前往滨河区的高速上。
We got waterfront.
我们的人已经去追
Where
了。但由于
Artemis.
另外2起爆炸案导致魏明市的交通全线崩溃，增加了追捕难度。而且还有一个更严重的
Where
问
did
题。
Kim go?
根据
Officer
昨天你
Kim.
提供钟思奎在黑市购买炸药的情报，专家测算，现在已经引爆的炸药量还不足他购买的1/3。
He only detonated a third? Shit. Are you saying there'll be more explosions?
没错。
As Darius speaks, the people around him suddenly erupt into chaos. You can hear several people calling out his name at the same time. And that concludes your call. As hurried footsteps echo from the corridor, you and Luke glance out the window and see billowing smoke from somewhere southwest of the hospital. Suddenly, the hospital is filled with a cacophony of voices. Luke stares at his phone to quickly locate the spot where the 4th explosion took place.
从网络上的现场视频看，爆炸现场在一个幼儿园。
A kindergarten? A kindergarten?
别担心，这家幼儿园正好今天元庆，全部师生都去了游乐园庆祝，没有造成人员伤亡。
Oh, that's good. Upon hearing this, an idea suddenly occurs to you. Luke, there haven't been any casualties in the first 3 explosions either, right? This seems to be an unusual situation, and Luke quickly grasps that. He pulls up the details report on the 3 previous explosions. The first explosion happened in a mall, but there weren't any casualties because it wasn't open yet. The second took place near a highway. It was a special lane for transporting Hank Barnes, so no other vehicles were around. And the last one, it took place in a suburban park. Fortunately, they were closed for maintenance today, so no one was hurt. Seems like Orcus Mallory doesn't want to hurt innocent people.
这只是暂时的，只要爆炸还在继续，难免会出现不可挽回的情况。
Yeah, you can't guarantee if.
而且这样大规模的动作，依靠钟思奎一个人根本做不到。
True. Judging from what happened, how he killed those 3 people hired enforcers and escaped from the hospital despite his physical condition, and how he planted explosives in specific locations without anyone knowing and abducted Hank Barnes in broad daylight, none of these could have been accomplished by one person alone. Orcus Mallory must have help. But who could they be? An old member of the Seahorse Association like himself, or someone else with a hidden agenda? Who could it be that's helping him? Setting aside everything else, how did they manage to get him up and moving again?
如果有黑市药物，他很可能暂时恢复体力，只是之后要付出代价。但对于一个命不久矣、一心想复仇的人来说，恐怕根本不会在乎药物的副作用。
True. Complicated expression appears on Luke's face.
现在最重要的是阻止钟思奎杀人和引爆剩下的炸药。
Judging from what he did earlier, chances are he's taking Hank Barnes back to the Weeping Tower.
我也是这么想。
But didn't Captain Morgan mention on the phone that he's en route to Waterfront with Barnes?
也可能是障眼法。
Luke's right. If Orcus Mallory isn't acting alone, his current escape route could be very well be intentionally misleading. You open the navigation app on your phone only to find that all roads from the city center to the Seahorse Association's old headquarters are at a standstill because of the explosions. Explosions have stopped traffic. How should we get there? Luke ponders for a moment.
我们可以骑摩托车过去。
His bike! Along the way, traffic is frozen as if someone hit the pause button and a pungent, sulfuric scent permeates the air. Black clouds of smoke loom over the cityscape like unsightly patches on a piece of clothing. Luke quickly maneuvers his motorcycle through the congested traffic, with you riding as his passenger. The sound of people sobbing echoes around you. Despite the lack of physical harm, the explosives have left a deep emotional scar. Some people might never be able to forget what happened for the rest of their lives. You and Luke finally arrive at the Weeping Tower. Orcus Mallory's car is parked askew in front of the gate. He's really here.
进去看看。
Luke, frowning, walks warily in front of you. But it's very quiet the whole way. There's no wind, nor the chirping of birds or insects. In fact, the place is so quiet that it's almost like a tomb. But Luke backs tenses as he steps on a dead branch on the ground. He stops, his eyes fixed on the pagoda tree. Following his gaze, you've seen a lone body hanging on the dead branches extending towards the sky. Is that...
鱼骨。
No! You and Luke release Hank Barnes from the tree, but he's already been dead for a while. There's a tiny injection point on his right arm. The area coincides with that of the injection points discovered on the bodies of the Seahorse Association leaders 10 years ago. This murder meticulously mirrors the circumstances of the suicide, unalive case from that time.
我们还是来晚了一步。
Why did he have to take this so far? We had already captured Hank Barnes. He was going to pay for the crimes he had committed. Why did Orcus Mallory have to kill him himself? He's already taken the lives of 3 people. Why did he have to keep going? Does he really know nothing about what the Seahorse Association did? A powerless rage overwhelms you, as if everything you did these past few days have been in vain. In the end, you and Luke were mere witnesses to 2 murders spanning 10 years. There was nothing the 2 of you could have done to alter the course leading to their inevitable doom.
现在还不是质问的时候，我们还有事情没有完成。
Yes, we have to capture him. Luke is right. You only found Hank Barnes, but there's still no sign of Orcus Mallory and the explosive he intends to detonate. Orcus Mallory has already taken revenge on Hank Barnes and the others according to his journal, but he had bought much more explosives than he used, which means this is far from over. Where would he go now?
他的车还在这里，人应该也没有走远。
True. As he speaks, Luke crouches down to inspect a lengthy drag mark etched into the ground. At first glance, it seems Orcus Mallory has been dragging Hank Barnes along. But upon closer inspection, it looks more like the mark left by someone crawling on the ground, extending all the way to the room where the bodies were found.
你先报警，我去里面看看情况。
Okay, I'll come find you in a bit. Luke nods as he approaches the caution tape surrounding the Weeping Tower, taking care to avoid the tracks on the ground. You bring Darius up to date on the situation, who informs you that there have been another 2 explosives after the 4th one. And with these 2 explosions producing copious amounts of smoke, any possibility of helicopter support is currently out of the question. Yet despite this, the quantity of dynamite used in the recent explosions still falls short of the volume Orcus Mallory acquired through the black market. Anxiety spreads through your body like a cold, damp mist. Standing between the pagoda tree, you peer into the room. It's so dark, it's as if it threatens to engulf all light. Luke! With your heart gripped by an unspeakable fear, you begin to run on pure instinct. Girl, what are you doing? In the dark and grim space, Orcus Mallory leans against the furnace wall, barely breathing. Dynamite is attached to his body and piled up all around him. That apparently accounts for the rest of it. Luke crouches down beside him, his brow tightly furrowed as he examines the wires all tangled up like a cobweb. As you walk in, Orcus Mallory, sensing your movement, struggles to open his eyes.
没想到，我最后见到的人，竟然是你们。
He twitches his fingers, inadvertently revealing the detonator under his palm.
抱歉，将你们牵扯进来。
如果你真的觉得抱歉，就把控制器给我。
Orcus Mallory shakes his head weakly, his grip tightening subconsciously.
你们不用担心，我找人设计过，这里的炸药量只会把海马会夷为平地，不会伤害周围无辜的居民。 趁还没爆炸，你们走吧。我是个杀人犯，本来就打算完成复仇之后，和海马会一起彻底消失。我会结束这一切，无论黑白对错、是非曲直，都已经不再重要了。
结束。
Luke glares at Orcus Mallory furiously.
你以为这就是结束？如果死亡可以结束一切，那我早就可以赴死了。
Luke. Suddenly, he seems to realize what he just said, a look of shock flashing across his eyes. Luke closes his eyes. When he opens them again, he has already concealed the emotions that surfaced a moment ago.
钟思奎，你真的以为在这里引爆炸药不会伤害无辜的人？
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. They ended it right at the climax. That's crazy. Orcus Mallory takes for granted that his vengeance will not harm innocent people. However, he has never considered the direct consequences that may result from an explosion at a place like this.
就算炸药可以精准控制爆炸的范围，但这里地处北区的闹市，人口密集，燃气管道错综复杂。爆炸会产生一系列连锁反应，无数人会失去生命。
不会的，老师答应我，不伤害无辜的人。
Brother, your teacher. Orcus Mallory nods in panic.
老师是个很厉害的人，要是没有他，我也完不成复仇。
那他就没有告诉你，北区这一块铺设了很多燃气管道。
他不会骗我的，不会的。
Orcus Mallory repeats the same words stubbornly, as if this could strengthen his trust. Luke sighs, squatting down in front of him.
钟思奎，你是不是不想伤害无辜的人？
我不想。
那现在还有机会。你把中央控制器给我，我可以阻止炸药的爆炸。
Orcus Mallory doesn't respond. He shuts his eyes in pain, panting, but his grip on the detonators loosens slightly. Luke gives you a look, signaling for you to approach him slowly from the side. However, as you're about to touch the detonator, Mallory suddenly opens his eyes.
露露，你回来了。
His hand jerks up, grabbing your wrist, causing the detonator, which is tethered to his wrist, to swing loosely. The situation is extremely dangerous. Although you're not particularly well versed in bombs, even you understand that if the detonator hits the ground or collides with something, the explosive might be triggered prematurely. As you lock eyes with Orcus Mallory, whose gaze is gradually losing focus, you glimpse Luke preparing to snatch the detonator from the corner of your vision, so you decide to play along, buying precious time for Luke to act. Yes, I'm back.
我就知道你会回来的。你哥哥找了你很久。你快跟我去找他，向他道歉。他那么疼爱你，一定会原谅你的。还有，要乖乖吃药，那是你哥哥捐了爸爸妈妈留给你们的遗产才换来的。吃了一定很快就会好了。到时候我带你去放风筝，好不好？露露，你怎么不说话？
Orcus Mallory gives your wrist a gentle shake. Your heart is in your throat, but luckily Luke has already grabbed hold of the detonator. However, a wire is wrapped around Orcus Mallory's arm, so Luke can't quite take it off.
我 我知道，有些人说这个药没用，但你想想，刚开始吃的时候，不是挺好的吗？只有坚持吃，才有效果。钟馗哥哥不会骗你的，相信我。
He fixes his gaze on you, his red eyes gleaming with frantic fervor.
不，你不是露露，你是谁？
Oh God. Burgess Mallory suddenly tightens his grip, sending a sharp jolt of pain shooting up your wrist.
露露呢？哦，露露死了，她死在了医院里。
He releases your wrist and leans against the furnace, gazing up at the ceiling, his eyes slowly closing.
那天下着雪，好冷啊，跟爸妈不要我的那天一样冷。我躺在雪地里，有一棵好大的槐花树，花开了，我就没那么冷了。
The sound of his breathing grows softer as he sinks deeper into imagination. You quietly check his pulse. His heart is still beating, albeit faintly. Meanwhile, Luke manages to untangle the wire wrapped around his arm. The countdown shows that you two have 15 minutes left. The ticking sound from the controller serves as a constant reminder of the passage of time. Luke removes the terminal from his wrist, connects it to the detonator, and launches the cracking software. Are you going to make it in time? Luke nods without stopping what he's doing.
这个程序并不复杂，我应该能够破解。你先离开这里，等炸药引爆程序终止，我就去找你。
If he can crack it, why is he telling you to leave now? Unless, even if I leave now, can I really make it out alive if this thing goes off? He didn't expect you to ask him that, so he stops inadvertently looking at you.
老实说，可能性很小，但获救的希望总比在这里要大。
Then I'll stay. I feel safer when I'm with you.
好吧，那你就待在我的身边。
Given the urgency of the situation, Luke wastes no time trying to reassure you, a departure from his usual demeanor. Instead, he bows his head, focusing entirely on cracking the program. As time ticks away, the program is finally cracked, and the final password box appears on the screen. A password? You attempt to arouse Orcus Mallory, but he's fallen unconscious, unable to provide an answer.
没关系，终端可以用穷举法破解密码。
The terminal Luke's using is the latest model from the NSB, boasting a computation speed multiple times faster than that of other products on the market. The letters on the indicator panel start changing rapidly as if racing against the countdown. The terminal has cracked the first 5 codes. There's only 1 letter left, and you still have 3 minutes, which is more than enough. Letting out a sigh of relief, you suddenly notice that a thin layer of sweat has formed on Luke's forehead, and his hand holding the detonator is trembling slightly. Luke! Suddenly, the ground shakes. A small-scale explosion seems to have taken place in the basement. Huh? The terminal connected to the detonator drops to the ground. A brick falls and strikes it, instantly knocking it out of operation. Faced with the sudden turn of events, Luke slides down the wall to the ground. He pants heavily, clenching his teeth, struggling to stop his body from shaking. There's no time to mull over the situation. You crouch down to help Luke steady the detonator.
别怕，地下室的炸药跟这里不是一起的。众死魁应该是担心爆炸，无法完全摧毁那里，事先放置了一些。
Even at a time like this, the first thing that comes to his mind is still to comfort you. I'm not afraid. Turning your eyes to the detonator, you find that the terminal has already cracked 5 letters of the password, stopping at the last one. And now it lies on the ground, shattered beyond hope. While there are only 2 minutes and 18 seconds left, as indicated by the countdown, Luke struggles to get up, but the pain causes him to fall down again. No! We're gonna blow! With one hand holding the detonator, you look up at Luke, whose pained expression matches the panting sound you heard earlier on the phone. Oh my god, he's having an attack at like the worst possible freaking time. Suddenly you realize that Luke has always been taking risks. He doesn't have anything under control. Not in the way he promised you. Dang, the shade! Up until this very moment, he's always been walking on a tightrope above a bottomless abyss. If he ever lets his guard down, even for a second, it could mean certain doom. But at least this once, you and Luke are in this together. You push back the worry and concern that threaten to overwhelm you and place the detonator between the two of you. Luke, tell me what to do. Oh my god! Oh my god! Dang, spicy. He is holding. Oh, look. On the side of the bomb, it actually has a countdown. But it doesn't go all the way down. that'd be pretty crazy. It just stops at 208. Or no, it doesn't. 204? Oh god. Luke, tell me what to do. As you call out to him, Luke snaps out of his momentary panic and struggles to raise his hand, pointing at the last empty spot on the detonator.
终端已经解锁到了最后一个字母，在被打断之前，他已经排除了18个字母，现在还剩下最后8个，需要手动输入。
8 letters, and you almost have enough time, teetering on the edge of possibility. If I get this wrong, will it go off ahead of time? Commit the remaining 8 letters to memory while confirming the password rules. Luke looks at you, shaking his head hopelessly.
我不知道，这个炸弹有被改造过的痕迹，无法确
I
认
might
规则。
blow him up, guys, if I get this wrong. So I have to take the risk.
放松点儿，不要紧张。
It's life or death here. How can I not be nervous? Smiling at what you say, Luke reaches out to cover the countdown on the screen.
不要去想时间，做好眼前事。
Despite the urgency of the moment, Luke's gentle encouragement brings back some old memories. Back when you two were studying together, you sometimes had difficulty falling asleep because you were too nervous about an important exam the next day. You had been preparing for long and you didn't lack confidence, yet you couldn't help but feel nervous. Luke would cheer you up like he's doing now, and he always managed to calm you down. It was like a miracle. Okay, here we go. You look at the interface, the cursor pulsating incessantly, urging you to enter the letter. How the absolute shit am I supposed to know what freaking letter this is? D, F, G, H, E, P, M, Z. Hello? No, I'm not joking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have a 1 in 8 chance in getting this right. And if I don't, I blow him up. Okay, I'm gonna pick H. Ah! It's not H. I should try another one. You look at the interface. Oh, wait. They're all consonants? Consonants? Pogging. Oh my god. Well, I didn't get it the first try, so I guess it doesn't really freaking count. Cause this bomb is super nice and doesn't explode when I put in the wrong password. Oh my god. The countdown finally stops. Your finger grows stiff with tension. I did it! Oh my god! I did it! 1 in 4. Wow. It took me 2 tries. Nice, nice. Luke looks at you, the corners of his mouth curling upward as if he had foreseen all of this. Did you know? There's no way he knew. Did you not see me literally? Before you can finish your sentence, the sound of a helicopter comes from outside. Luke struggles to stand up, but almost falls back down again because he hasn't fully recovered. Poor baby. You instinctively grab his arm and place it over your shoulder, helping him stand by supporting his weight against your body. Yeah, buff Rosa. We are buff. Where do you want to go? We took a motorcycle, my dude. I can't ride a motorcycle, at least to my knowledge. He looks at you flustered, his eyes pleading. You hesitate for a second, but eventually you agree. Okay, but I need to talk with Captain Morgan first. You then explain the situation to Darius, who arrives before the other police officers and board the rescue helicopter. My man Mary is coming through with the helicopter. Rescue helicopter sent from Pax with Luke. The helicopter takes the 2 of you directly to the rooftop helipad at Aaron's hospital. Since you contacted Aaron in advance, he's already waiting for you and Luke in the treatment room with everything prepared. He tells you to wait outside. Half an hour later, he opens the door again and waves you in. You see Luke lying docilely on the sick bed after completing the examinations. How's Luke doing?
他没事，现在只是睡着了。
He fell asleep. You walk quietly to the sickbed and see a relaxed expression on Luke's face. It seems he's fast asleep.
之前你们在现场发生的情况，夏燕都跟我说了。那是新药的副作用和他过劳双重导致的。只要好好睡一觉，应该就会恢复。
That makes sense. That makes sense. The side effects of the new medicine.
夏燕，把之前出现幻觉的原因都告诉你了吧？
Yep, we experienced it firsthand. Yes.
其实，比起之前的情况，这款新药的副作用已经大大降低了对精神的损伤。虽然目前还存在对身体上的影响，但他不会再使用这个药了。这次是意外。以后所有的药物都会先经过我的检测之后再给的。
Nice.
相信我，一定会治好夏燕的。
Aaron makes a solemn promise which somehow brings you comfort. Earlier, you were always worried about Luke fighting alone, but that's not true. He has Aaron and you. You nod, casting another glance at the sleeping Luke before slowly walking out of the ward. Oh, freaking Matthew again. A beautiful melody echoes in this spacious hall. Finn gazes at Matthew Richter across the table, thoughtful, as if trying to discern a loophole in his plan by analyzing his expression.
哟，我的好外甥，今天怎么有空来探望舅舅？不过既然
I
来
want
了，
to punch your face. I hate you.
难道斯瓦尔特的礼仪就是空手上门？
别误会。
Oh my god, his birthday
我来这里是为了
outfit.
给
He
你一
looks
个
so
忠告。
good.
这世界上没有不透风的墙。别以为钟思奎死了，就没人知道你做的事。
On that day, after Orcus Mallory fell unconscious, he was rushed to the hospital by ambulance, but the doctors were unable to save him from the overdose of the black market drug. It goes without saying that the identity of his teacher remains a mystery.
你有证据吗？
He hit him with the typical, do you even have proof? Yeah, where's your
看
proof?
来是没有。毕竟我跟钟思奎的交集也只有在角马会的谈话而已。他向我倾诉自己的痛苦，我很同情他，站在我的角度给他一些长辈的建议。
Bro, shut up. I'm gonna punch you. Matthew Richter stresses the word elder on purpose, but Vin ignores his implication.
如果你真的同情他，
You're not an elder,
就不
you're
会
just
任由
an
他在错
old
误的道路上
grimy
越走越
man.
远，以至于无法回头。你很清楚钟思奎的倾诉是在求助，如果他得到的是正面的引导，结局会完全不同。
Literally, so true.
而你做了什么？你放任甚至鼓励他复仇，眼睁睁看着一条身处迷雾的生命。
Oh my
走
god,
向
he
万劫
words
不
it
复的
so
深渊。
beautifully. No, seriously, that's a perfect description.
这一切都只是为了满足你自己
Indulgence
肮脏
is
黑暗的
definitely
欲望。
a word that is completely true.
莫子恒，以前我只是觉得你蠢，现在觉得你又蠢又
You're
坏，
stupid and
根本
evil.
无药可救。
莫一，看来我这段时间是太惯着你了。让
Yeah,
你
what are
这
you
么
gonna do? Shoot me again? Try it, buddy.
既然你这么没有教养，那我也没有必要客气。我警告你，现在马上从我家滚出去！
Yeah, I didn't want to stay here anyway of your stinking, disgusting house. I want to go back to my house with Vin. Suck it, Matthew. Vin turns, walking away swiftly before Matthew Richter can call security. Before stepping out of the door, he turns his head, fixing Matthew Richter with a cold gaze. Flip him off, Vin.
只可惜，你的如意算盘恐怕是要落空了。
Period. He's so stunned to speak. It's like he's been spoiled all his life. He doesn't know what it feels like for someone to like literally argue back at him. I hate that guy, man. He's such a shitty person. Which I guess makes him a well-written character. God, he's so insufferable. Oh my god, we're at the end. How crazy is that? At the end. Hello? NSB, yeah. Yeah, time to expose someone. At midnight, the sound of typing is particularly loud in the empty office. According to the current investigation results, the key to the Seahorse Association leaders on a live case 10 years ago is an N2X infused drug. If the investigation had started back then, the mass infection at the capital's hospital could have been avoided. Don't blame yourself, Luke. I hereby request clearance to access all files pertaining to the Seahorse Association leaders on a live case 10 years ago. This is to find a reasonable explanation for the deaths of all those who succumbed to the infection at the capital's hospital. Luke checks the letter for any improper wording and typo one last time before finally he's see guys, see how he didn't use ChatGPT, how he didn't use AI. He wrote that with his brain. Crazy.
放心吧，我一定会找出真相，不会让你们。
He releases the mouse and leans back against the chair, slowly closing his eyes. This time, he's not haunted by nightmares of the past. Instead, all he sees is the darkest of black. 5 minutes later, Luke receives an email from his superior. Several days later, you and Luke are called to the police station by Darius.
最近一直加班加点整理材料，终于把2件案子的卷宗理清楚了。
He's putting in extra hours. I feel like you're here like more than 40 hours a week, Darius. Thank you, Captain Morgan. In fact, it's already clear what truly happened in the 2 cases, although the perpetrators were Hank Barnes and Orcus Mallory. You all know they were merely pawns manipulated in committing those unforgivable crimes. But while they must be held accountable for their actions, those who pulled their strings are equally responsible. From this perspective, the 2 cases are far from closed.
我们这里还掌握了一些小细节，你们可能有兴趣。
Oh? Darius pulls an investigation report drafted by bomb experts from the folder. What's this?
你们离开后，拆弹专家取出了没爆炸的炸药。根据他们的分析，引爆程序的设计是只要进入输入密码界面，无论你们当时输入的密码是否正确，炸药都会在时间清零之后停止爆炸。
Oh. It didn't even matter, guys. So all we had to do was access the password page? But at that time, I genuinely believed that even a single mistake might have cost us our lives.
其实按照原本的设计，输错密码就会爆炸，但有人更改了程序。
你的意思是，钟思奎可能主动降低了拆弹的难度？
Guys, if he didn't change that, we would have been dead by now. Darius nods with a serious expression. But why would he have done that? Was he expecting someone to step in and change things?
有这种可能，只是钟思奎最后没能救回来，我们也不知道他真实的想法。
An ending like this leaves you wondering, would things have turned out differently if Orcus Mallory and Hank Barnes had been given a better choice? But the reality is maybe better or optimal choices were never available to them. They were only left to choose between what's bad and what's worse, watching as things spiraled out of control.
哦，对了，眼队，鱼骨体内有没有检测出含有 N2X 的药物成分？
有，而且我们不仅在鱼骨体内检测出了 N2X 的成分。钟思奎生前
Yep. So that's why he mistook me for Luna Barnes. It wasn't only because he was dying. The drug the drug must also have played a role. Yeah, it makes you hallucinate sometimes. Darius doesn't reply. Instead, he takes out another report from the folder.
只不过鱼骨体内的跟之前你们提供的报告中一致，而钟思奎体内的跟目前的黑市药物相似。但可以确定的是，钟思奎服用的药物并不来自黑市，具体的情况还在调查中。现在还不方便透露。
Yeah, Matthew Richter, we're gonna find you. Unable to disclose any information implies that the police must have gathered some data already, but there isn't enough evidence to confirm it yet, so they can't share it with you at this time. However, it's very likely that the mysterious force behind Hank Barnes and Orcus Mallory will come to light in the future. Knock, knock, knock. Someone is knocking on the door.
进来。
A youthful-looking police officer pokes his head in from behind the door.
连队，开案情会了，就网络博主失踪的那个。
知道了。大致情况就是这样。要是之后还有什么线索，欢迎随时联系。
Disappearance of a vlogger?
还有，夏夜，
Nothing but goods?
我听说之后你会协助我们警方彻查10年前的案子。
Huh?
是有这个打算，但具体还在等任命下来。
行，那我们到时候再说。今天就先这样。
Darius opens the door as he speaks, gesturing for police officers waiting inside to come in for the case meeting. During the case meeting, the projector in the middle plays a ghost hunt trailer from Nothing But Guts, the ghost video vlogger.
家人们，我决定再去一次四方气楼。你们知道吗？那个地方啊，虽然邪门，但很忘我。上次我不是去了之后就昏迷了吗？然后我就找了个大师帮我算了算。
Oh God.
大师说啊，四方气楼本来很阴森可怖，冤魂缠绕，但却偏偏是个难得的风水宝地。
Uh-oh.
所以被人放了那么多炸药，最后还能安然无恙的保存下来。只要我再去探一次灵，一定会成为当下最火的视频博主。为了验证大师所言非虚，我郑重宣布，明天晚上12点进行一次直播探灵。
Uh-oh.
家人们，祝福我吧。
After that, Nothing But Guts goes offline. The young police officer closes the video and flips through the notebook, starting to go through the case.
据调查，第二天，浑身是胆确实去了四方七楼开直播，但没几分钟，画面就消失了。随后，他人也失踪了，再也没有出现。不像上次他昏迷之后，第二天醒来就出现在槐花树下。现在他的视频下面全部都是“博主不会真的失踪了吧”这样的评论。而且，由于博主的离奇失踪，截止目前为止，浑身是胆的粉丝暴增几十万。从某种意义上而言，大师确实说对了。
After hearing the briefing, Darius puts down his thermos, agitated.
现场不是封锁了吗？他怎么进去的？
这一点也很奇怪，那里的监控并没有拍到浑身是胆进去。值班的同事也说没有听到异常。现在我们已经把摸排的范围扩大到附近的小区。
Huh?
查仔细点，一个大活人总不会平白无故消失。
明白。
That's so creepy. What the hell? Late at night, Luke opens a package left in front of his door, revealing a bottle of the new drug. At the same time, he receives a message signed by Oedipus on his phone. It's a pleasure working with you, Mr. Pierce.
迭代的速度比我想象中更快。
That's so creepy. It ends like that with freaking Nothing But Guts. Oh my god. Oh, we finished chapter 13. Oh my god. Now we know what the syringe is for with the bear. I think the hanging was kind of obvious. The pagoda trees. Wow, my god. That was a good chapter. Was it better than Immolation? I don't know. I think I liked Immolation a little bit better. And then I can't even remember the other ones. To be honest. But that was so good. I enjoyed that. I could claim all of these now. Hell yeah. And then meanwhile, while we're reading, I'll just do like only a little bit of the anomalies, just because I have stamina, so I might as well, you know, use it. But yeah, I guess we could talk about the story. I think the best part was that I don't even know if this is a coincidence, but it like came out the week before Halloween. And I think the like event bonuses end on Halloween. That's like so creepy. Whoever did that, like, I hate you, because it was so spooky and it fit like the spooky theme and everything. Like, what the hell? Did you really have to do that? But I say that affectionately, because I think I wouldn't have felt that scared if it wasn't Halloween. I think the story was fine. I don't think it was one of their better stories. Like, I feel like they have had better stories. I think there wasn't just that emotional pull that a lot of the like the better main stories are known for. Like I still remember main story episode 2. Like that story was so good. And yeah, I don't know. I didn't think it was terrible. I just think that I didn't really get to know everyone that well. Or like even when I did know about like his sister and everything, it wasn't something that that really, I guess, like emotionally moved me compared to other stories. But I thought it was fine. I think the mystery aspect of it was done well. They didn't really give you everything till the end. Like you had to like piece some things together. I think it wasn't until you really interview Hank that you realize like Orcus is you know, is the guy who's behind all of this. Funny seeing Matthew Richter again. He didn't show up last chapter, thank God. But he showed up. That piece of crap showed up again. So I mean, way to get my blood pressure up, I guess. I'm even having a hard time remembering Immolation, which is like kind of crazy. Like I remember the end of Immolation. I think that's because Marius was pretty heavily in near the end. But yeah. I think also because it seems like this chapter is like a one-timer. It's just like one and done. It's a one shot, as some might say. So like, I mean, we've had a couple main stories that had freaking like 3 parts into it, right? So it's never gonna be as good as that. What are I like seeing Darius a lot in the stories. You kind of, I know he shows up quite a lot, but it's always good seeing him again. I felt like he was more prominent in the story, which was a good thing. Oh yeah, and then we learned a little bit more about Luke and like bits and pieces of the Capitol Hospital incident, and how just like a refresher to remind us that he was the only one that survived that incident. But yeah, I thought it was okay. I think I would give it like a 7 out of 10, which isn't that bad, you know. I think I was thoroughly engaged and enjoyed throughout it. I think it's just because I'm streaming so late that I like, it's just my body getting tired. But hey, I didn't fall asleep, so that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I do think that Hank literally looks too much like Marius, though. Like the haircut and everything, like that really, not that it bothered me, but it was like, it just looks too similar. It's not like Marius, only Marius is allowed to have that haircut. It's just like, but why does Hank have the same haircut? That's so strange. The only thing that's different is that it's like slightly longer and like a little bit messy, and that it's like doesn't have that blue tint to it. It's just black. So I can do 3 more stages, and then I'll probably be farming the Luke Anomaly SR vocal card thing. That'll probably take me a couple months just to get it, you know. It'll take forever to farm. I guess I should look up what immolation was about again. I feel like I can't even remember. Oh yeah, we met Jared Boone in Immolation, and he had like that really funny spat with Marius. That was really funny. Oh yeah, and then like the whole what was it? Like there was a whole drug like criminal organization with like Remus, Kane, and Roman Kane, and how it was like since he was adopted, he was like he had to like just bear with the responsibility of like taking over. Yeah, I remember that. I forget what it was called. Immolation though. Was someone said? Oh yes. It was called Immolation because there were gallons of gasoline, and it caused a fire which killed Remus, so the father who adopted Roman. So it was like his orphan son had a motive for killing his father because of like the criminal organization thing, and like a testimony of that. Yeah, I remember Immolation a little bit better. I don't think I enjoyed like Immolation for that plot with like Remus that much. I just kind of liked seeing I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I just enjoyed it because Marius was pretty heavy on that story. Ha 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 ha. What? These only gave 2? I never remembered that. What is this? What is this? Oh, investigation complete. It just gives me the check mark. Okay. I mean, sure. I still have to do this. I don't do the actual cooking until like the end of the event. I don't know if that's like psychopathic, but that's just how I do it. Haha. Wow. So how many more sections do I have left? Oh, I have 2. I'm just gonna use a potion and just get it over with. Hello. Because it's gonna be 30 exactly, so I might as well. Which one was Cocoon about? Is that the one where freaking Vin got shot? Oh no, Cocoon was about Lethia Gray. Yeah, that sounds right. All right, last one. Oh yeah, and the Cuckoo part 1 was with that grandma on the crutch who like accidentally killed Lethia. I forget what the reason was. He like killed the granny's like son, or like ruined his life or something like that. I forget what. But that was the freaking chapter where we learned that Jerome is like he has no money. But there was a really wealthy woman that like was like in love with him. But it didn't work out. Haha. Didn't work out for him. because he was like totally not interested in her at all. Complete 21. Oh, okay. So that'll be for tomorrow probably. Like when I just do my dailies. I will not be doing that on stream. There's nothing to stream. I probably have case files here that I need to clear out. Yep. Orcus Mallory. Yeah, Lethia Grave. Roman, yes, him. Yep. Nothing but guts. Oh wait, do I actually have to click them? Oh my god. Oh wait, no. That's why you don't tempt fate. Maybe he was taken by a ghost. Dang. Too spooky for me. Cool. Well, luckily there's not gonna be a part 4. Thank gosh. Reading is a lot. Reading is a lot. Props to people who do it. Oh my gosh. But finally, it's done. It's completed. It's over. Oh, finally. I did it. It's done. So let me just close this out because I don't need it. I think I said everything I had to say at the beginning of the stream. There's probably not gonna be anything for a while, so I think I mean I don't feel, I feel like it's a lot of work to stream every event that comes out, also because I do the recordings instead, so I'm probably only gonna do the streams for the main story updates, just because I feel like because they're longer, like this one took me like what, 6-7 hours, I feel like the stream is much better for like my memory, so I retain it, and in case I don't retain anything, I can just always watch the VOD and be like, oh yeah, that's what happened in chapter 13, paroxysm. Now I know I can say that word even though I have no idea what it means. Actually, I'll look it up real quick. Paroxysm. A sudden attack or violent expression of a particular emotion or activity. Wow, yeah, that really does fit this chapter with Orcus Mallory. I guess I never ever want to say pagoda. Orcus Mallory, hands, oh my god, I forgot his name. Hank Barnes, and seahorse. I don't ever want to say those 4 or 5 words ever again, because I had to say them so many times while reading this story. Oh my gosh. So because it is quite late, and the stream was a little bit longer, I think, or it was longer than all of them. I will be going to now. Oh yes, I made an ending screen, so you could enjoy that for a while. Haha, haha, haha. I'm probably gonna get rid of it literally by the next time I stream, but I just like made it in like 5 minutes, so I don't have to keep using my freaking loading. Anyway. Thank you everyone who was here. Thank you to everyone who made it to the end. I hope you liked my very crappy reading of Paroxysm. chapter 13. I will see y'all in chapter 14 when it comes out, I guess. In like probably 2025, let's be real. Anything else? Yeah. I hope everyone enjoyed the main chapter. Let me know what you thought. And if you liked it more than, I don't know, Immolation, what you liked, what you didn't like. I mean, I read everything. So have a good night, good morning, good afternoon. And if you made it to the end, thank you. Bye bye.